Hey guys, good evening. Stazo here. GGG dropped a patch preview, considering the new one that's gonna arrive. I have some thoughts. I was preparing a video actually about probably the incoming nerfs toward Heralds and Stormweaver. I was going to make a video about which class would be nice to start. So yeah, let's see what they actually have in mind to change in game.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, we're back from our break. We've been playing the game a whole lot and we've been reading a whole lot of feedback as well. So it's time to assess and work out what we're going to do next. Now, later this week we'll be releasing PoE 2 0.1.1. This is a patch designed to address the concerns that we can address relatively quickly, without needing to create a new league or a new economy just yet. In this video we'll be going over some of the issues we've identified and what we're planning on doing about them. It's worth stressing that just because a specific issue isn't on this list doesn't mean that we're not aware of it or that it isn't going to get addressed. It just means that we either can't fix the problem quickly or we can't do so without the need for a new economy. One of the major areas that needs a lot of attention is the base experience
Without the need of a new economy.
We've made a lot of changes here.
Okay.
First, in-game maps have received a balance pass to the number of monsters, number of chests, number of magical rare monsters, number of essences, strongboxes and precursor artifacts. You should generally find maps more rewarding than before. Maps generally specialize in one or more of these elements, but they will be particularly rewarding.
Play down Infernalist Frostwitch.
Now towers are a thing that's very important for players to run often, but we only had one of them. We wanted to add more variety here as soon as possible, so we've added 4 more tower maps. Alpine Ridge, Sinking...
Take note guys, these are gonna be the new meta builds. They're preparing us. Those are Easter eggs.
Spire. Bluff.
Oh, ball lightning. Dude, you're gonna die, what the fuck?
And Mesa. We've also redone the existing Lost Towers map to make playing there less boring. We're now also spawning more maps with bosses.
Okay.
The rate was intended to be 1 in 4 maps, but in reality the rate was much lower due to some maps being unable to spawn bosses. We've increased the rate to compensate for this issue so that we can get the actually intended rate. We're also adding a new type of tablet that allows you to add bosses to your maps with its own mod pool.
Nice! Cool, okay.
Strongboxes also needed some love. They now spawn monsters faster, have a less annoying fog effect, and have also received changes to the timings and effects of the mods.
I just skipped them.
Now, let's talk about visibility of effects. Many maps had too much clutter, preventing effects on the ground from rendering, causing you to be unable to see and dodge them. We've both changed the level of clutter on some maps, and changed some effects to make sure that they are always visible. In addition, elemental explosion effects have had visibility improved. Stick around for longer before they explode, and disappear without exploding
if a rare monster dies. I didn't mind them. I was minding the dead
Volatile
guys.
plants are also way easy to see before they explode. Now we've also increased the zoom level on the Atlas, done a pass on various terrain collision issues in many maps.
Finally.
We've also improved the load times of opening the world map and Atlas panel. Okay. And we also now show the biome of a map on the hover for it.
Ah, it says again.
For other in-game content systems, we're focusing on getting all the rewards in line with what they should be. For Delirium, we recently fixed a bug which caused Delirium monsters to just not spawn after the starting part. And we've also buffed the rate of simulacrums dropping by 20%. Get more in line with the rate of finding the expedition and ritual bosses.
Killing maps with ball lightning.
For Ritual, we've made omens now appear in the Ritual tribute window 60% more often. For Expedition, we've improved the rarity from the shops, but we'll be wanting to make some more substantial changes to the rewards for this league later on. Now, one of the major concerns that we're often seeing is that getting to play Pinnacle content just takes too long, and that when you do finally get there, you only get one attempt and don't get a chance to learn the boss.
That's cute.
In order to address these concerns, we're making the following changes. First, we're making the Citadels spawn closer to the center of the Atlas.
You can see them through
fog. We've also added an effect so you can see them in the fog of war from further away. This makes them much easier to find. To address the problem of only having one attempt, on the Arbiter of Ash you will now get up to 6 respawn attempts.
You only had one
Respawns can only be triggered by the person who put in the keys, and everyone on your party will be respawned at the same time. Leaving the map still forfeits your attempt, so you'll still need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with. Higher difficulties of the boss will lower the number of respawn attempts you get, but you should know the mechanics of the fight by then, right? Now, we'll also be adding respawns to other Pinnacle content as well over time. Another thing that players have noticed is that there are less keys from Farad'n Citadels on the market, and thought that it was because the Citadel spawns less often. It turns out though that this is just because the boss kills players more often than the others. We've made a few changes to that boss to bring it in line with the other bosses.
The Citadel bosses are the active ones.
A lot of people have reported that many of our unique items are feeling underwhelming. Uniques are often designed to be build enabling at high levels, even if they're low level uniques. We realised that we do need to make sure that more uniques feel powerful when you first get them at low levels too. In this patch we are buffing a lot of uniques.
I don't know this one. So they added like some armor and other resistances. Okay, some stun threshold. Dredgers, yeah, we have these on PoE 1 as well. So they added some energy shield. This one they actually improved the chance of bleed a lot. Okay. This one has like a critical hit chance and improved physical on cold. I was disenchanting this one. Bramblejack. Cannot evade enemy attacks. Okay.
These changes should make finding uniques at lower levels a lot more fun, and make subsequent character playthroughs more.
These boots have like a rarity on them. These have like a freeze chill duration enemies, okay? I have painters. So they removed the resistance and they added extra damage. Okay, that's nice. That's really nice actually. These are actually really nice now, okay. I was thinking of playing my Chronomancer. I had a cold chrono and I didn't know what to do with it. We could try this out now. Okay, it's like, since it's 5 to 8, it's like 5 to 10, so I guess you could get like 30% extra damage.
More fun too, when you have some great uniques to use. We're also changing a few other things to make finding rares better at higher levels too. First, we're changing mod weightings a bit to make sure that there are less bad mods. Another fix is making high tier items no longer cull the highest tier modifier of a given mod type. This bug caused bows and crossbows to not spawn with attack speed at tier 5 rarity, and rings to not spawn with life at tier 5 rarity. Another change we're making is to make it so that socketables such as runes can now be overwritten with another socketable. As we continue to play, we still find many balance anomalies with specific monsters or bosses that can be nasty
really nice
if you encounter
so far. What the fuck?
This patch contains a pass adjusting a large number of those monsters and bosses. We'll save the full list for the patch notes, but there are a significant number of changes here that should address many cases where monsters or bosses felt too hard in certain circumstances. Here are a few examples to get a taste of what kind of changes you can expect. The Silverfist Commander role now does a lot less damage.
That was okay.
Plaguebearer's Detonate Dead can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraph.
Yeah, man, that fucking shit, that Sith mob killed me like too many times while mapping tier 12 to 15 in the fucking Oasis map. Dude, I lost like 5 maps from these guys. They were off-screen and they were detonating me with the flies every time
It can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraphing.
Nice.
Forsaken Miners throw less grenades, have improved visuals, and deal less damage.
I knew the Forsaken ones.
And Lost Men Zealots can no longer meteor you from off-screen either, as well as many other changes just like those.
Nice, okay.
One of the big issues for players on consoles is that the web-based item filter system is currently not working. This means that they can't use item filters like the PC users can. For 0.1.1, we'll be enabling the same system that PoE 1 has, which allows you to subscribe to item filters on the website.
Okay.
For now, this will be done on the PoE 1 website to allow us to get this feature out as fast as possible.
They use NeverSyncs on their official site. Dude, that's a pretty big one. I mean, I think back in the old days of PoE 1, you couldn't actually post a filter on their site. That's pretty cool recognition there for NeverSync. He helped a lot the community, considering he's not affiliated with GGG. Well done. And
Later on, we'll improve the user experience of this and put it on the Path of Exile 2 website. This patch also contains a bunch of other smaller changes and bug fixes that I'm sure you guys will appreciate. like buffing armor and scavenged plating. Showing the number of uses left in your charms, as well as an effect when they trigger.
Okay, cool.
The Song of the Exiles.
Fixing the music that Una was supposed to play in town.
Dude, he plays the lute. Love.
And plenty of other little fixes and improvements throughout the game. Now, we have a huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be and what the balance of bosses and monsters should be relative to that. But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in. That's still a little while away yet.
Eh? What? There isn't going to be any nerfs then?
Huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be and what the balance of bosses and monsters should be relative to that. But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in.
Oh, they're not gonna nerf anything. Okay, I think by the end of the early access, Stormweaver is gonna be like 60% in standard of popularity. At the moment, it's like 40 to 47% from top players on ladder at the moment. Dude,
A little while away yet,
no nerfs.
but in the meantime, we'll be continuing to
Heralds,
identify
guys.
things that are causing frustration and try and address them. I want to thank you guys for playing and hope to be doing more of these in the future. Later.
Dude, hey, Pox.
Hello and welcome everybody. Also, good morning. So it's been about
Good evening,
a month,
sir.
maybe a little.
It's kind of strange that they didn't say anything about the crafting system, but he said that the meta changing, like the big changes, they're not gonna do it in the early access at the moment. Like the meta sifting. I think he was talking more about classes, the builds and gear, considering what's happening now with Stormweavers and the Heralds. Well, most of my issues were addressed, actually. I didn't like the zooming on Atlas, the Plaguebringers. But yeah, there's no... Besides the fact that he said that they improved some stuff on Expedition, there's no talk about the crafting system. I think it's the only issue at the moment that PoE hasn't addressed so far. For a new player joining the early access, in my opinion, he should have a tool to craft in order to optimize his gear without depending on just finding a decent base and try his luck with augmentation, regular, and exalt. I think that's the crafting we have at the moment. But so far, yeah, they addressed pretty much everything. That's great. So, yeah, that was it. If you have any thoughts about what they should change, just feel free to share in the comments. It's actually my first video of PoE 2. I've been playing for around 200 hours, and yeah, the game is great. The changes are awesome, considering the fact that the stuff they addressed seemed like they'd be hearing the community a lot. So yeah, that was it. And if you think they missed something, just feel free to write in the comments. Cheers, bye.